And we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports. We have an exclusive here with the trainer to the legendary Uncle James Bashir. Uncle, how are we doing?
I'm doing fine. Everything's going well.
Fantastic, Uncle. So how have things been with you?
Everything's going smoothly. Croatia playing Habazin for upcoming fight on December the 8th here in Croatia. 1 week later, I'll be headed toward Kiev, Ukraine, to work with Vlad Sarenko in his upcoming fight there in the city of Kiev, Ukraine.
Okay, you're not quite that clear. So if you could speak up, that would be fantastic.
Okay, I'll turn it up a little bit.
As loud as you can, Uncle.
I got it high as it can go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm pretty well. Everything's going well.
Okay, I'm sure you've seen recent events that have been going on in the boxing world, mostly Wilder versus Fury. I know we've talked about it over and over again. For those people who might not know who you are, I don't know how they wouldn't, but don't know who you are and your history, please explain your history in terms of Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, Vladimir Klitschko, and yourself.
Deontay Wilder. Oh.
Hold on, you're breaking up, Uncle.
Oh.
Yes, Uncle.
Deontay Wilder was there. He's a young green guy in Vladimir Klitschko's training camp some years ago, but he was very green, you know.
Yes, I know you told us that was back in February 2013. We did the interview where you talked about basically Wilder being dropped twice in sparring by Vladimir Klitschko, but that wasn't the only person in camp.
Right. I mean, it was a lot of guys there, but I remember specifically that Deontay got knocked down twice. One time his glove touched the stack and he was dazed. His glove touched the floor, which would be considered a knockdown. And then another time, Vladimir knocked him down.
Okay.
But again, Deontay Wilder was a young, green guy, you know, jumping in, off balance and stuff. And he got caught a couple of times. Big deals. A lot of shit happens in camps. You know, a lot of things goes on in different camps. And a guy improves. So Deontay Wilder, to his credit, has improved since that time. But he did go down.
Okay. A lot of people are making a big thing out of the thing that Wilder got dropped by Klitschko. That was back in 2013. Like I said, we reported that story with you in 2013. How has Deontay Wilder improved since, in your opinion, since that time he was sparring Klitschko?
Well, the main thing about Deontay Wilder, he's improved in his confidence and his ability. You know, he knows what he's capable of doing now. I believe, what is he, 40-1?
40-0. 40 with one draw, yes. Or 40 and 0. Yes.
So that within itself is a confidence builder. You know, he has the confidence and he knows where he's going. I like him. Personally, I like him. You know, fighters go down, you know. I mean, Mike Tyson went down in training camp, you know. So it happens, but I like where he's at now.
Can you talk to us a bit more about Vladimir Klitschko's where Vladimir Klitschko was at that time when you were sparring Deontay Wilder, to put things into perspective for some people?
I mean, Vladimir, he was climbing the ladder at that time. I mean, he was already the champion, but he was coming into his own. Yes. You know, he's coming into his own at that time, you know. And he was establishing himself as the world champion, you know, as the world champion. And he's on top of his game. I think Vladimir was the best heavyweight in the world at that particular time.
Okay. So, I mean, you've seen Deontay Wilder. So, I know you said he's improved, but how much technically do you think he's improved since those days?
Technically, when you use the term technical means has he been able to get away with things? Deontay Wilder is a very unpredictable fighter, very unpredictable. I don't think that Deontay Wilder knows what he's going to do until he does it. But he's not the only one. Muhammad Ali was like that. Muhammad Ali was like that in his own right. He made up stuff as he went along. So Deontay Wilder is not in bad company. He's just a unpredictable guy. But the main thing is that he's a puncher. Deontay Wilder is a puncher, a very good puncher. Perhaps one of the top 7 punchers of all times in the heavyweight division, at least the top 7.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit further. In your experience, what you've seen so far of the build-up to the fight, a lot of people talking about Fury's comeback. We've talked about Fury's shape, him coming back, how he looks. How has he looked to you in camp and now the end of camp? How has Fury looked to you?
Fury looks like Fury. I don't think that he's been back long enough to be in a fight with Deontay Wilder. So if he pulls it off with Deontay Wilder, it will be an amazing thing. But I think that he needed more fights, more solid fights. The guys that he fought on the comeback, they weren't formidable to me. They weren't kind of guys that you prepare for Deontay Wilder. So if he does pull this fight out on Saturday night, if he pulls it out, it'll be an amazing thing. I don't think that he's been back long enough. I think that the weight loss, I think the absenteeism, I think the crisis he went through in his life, I think all that's going to play a part when he gets hit. When he gets hit, all of that's going to come down on him at one time, and he'll have to deal with it. You don't want to be in that situation with a guy like Deontay Wilder, because Deontay Wilder hurts you. He's going for the throat.
What do you made of this shift in training camp? He's been in Big Bear now. He's brought in Freddie Roach. Your thoughts on that?
Freddie Roach is. They make so much about this Freddie Roach thing and this guy and that guy and this guy and that guy. When Deontay Wilder hits him on his chin with that Amtrak. You know what Amtrak is?
It's a train.
Yes, a very powerful train, a very fast train. When that Amtrak hits him on his temple, on his chin, Freddie Roach and Harry Houdini won't be able to help him. He's going to have to help himself. And I don't think they're going to pull through. I'm picking Deontay Wilder to stop Tyson Fury inside of 9 rounds. If Fury is allowed to do his ice skating routine, the ice skating routine that he did with Vladimir Klitschko, then that'll be Deontay Wilder's fault. But my thinking is people keep alluding to the fact that Tyson boxes real smooth to be a big guy. Tyson moves quick and he has stamina, he has this and that. But Tyson has never been in with nobody to light a fire to him. A la Joe Frazier versus Muhammad Ali. That kind of fire. Because Joe Frazier reduced Muhammad Ali into a slugging match by round 7 of that fight. Ali just had to win the fight on guts, courage, because Joe put so much pressure on Ali, he took away Ali's boxing skills. He said, no, tonight you have to fight. And that's what Ali did. Ali dug down and Ali fought. He was in a tit for tat with Joe Frazier because Joe Frazier put so much pressure on him. Nobody has ever put that kind of pressure on Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is a big guy and he's running a big factory, which takes a lot of energy to run the generator for that factory. If you let him skate around the ring, sure, he can go 12 rounds. But I like to see him go 12 rounds with somebody in his face like a dentist. That kind of, and I think Deontay Wilder is that guy.
What do you make of the athleticism of of a Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. There are people that actually believe that Tyson Fury is faster than Deontay Wilder, which I'm shocked about.
Technically, it might look like Deontay Wilder is a very athletic guy. He has very, very good athletic ability. He has very, very good athletic skills. And I think that it's going to come through in this fight. I think that Deontay Wilder is just in so much anticipation. I just hope that he doesn't overdo it. You know, I think he's geared up. They need to calm him down and bring him in the ring level-headed, not too emotional, because that could cost him. And I think that Tyson Fury is counting on Deontay Wilder being emotional.
But you say that, but I think from what I've seen of Deontay Wilder, his whole style is about being coiled and then releasing. He seems the kind of guy that when you feed him that sort of negative energy, he kind of gets stronger with it rather than fall apart because of it.
No, I don't think he's going to fall apart.
I don't either.
Just don't want to go out there and shoot his wad in 5-6 rounds. And I think that's what Tyson Fury is dependent on. That Deontay will burn himself out, make himself vulnerable, counter punches going down the stretch.
I've got somebody in the room called the Nigerian Nightmare who's saying that Fury's boxing IQ combined with Roach is going to dumbfound Deontay.
Oh, Freddie Roach? What's Freddie Roach trained as a heavyweight? Who's he trained? He hasn't trained nobody as a heavyweight. Shot Mike Tyson, beat up Michael Moore, overweight James Toney. What has Freddie Roach done as a heavyweight trainer? Freddie Roach got Manny Pacquiao knocked out in the last Marquez fight with his gung-ho mentality, trying to get the knockout. So when Freddie Roach and these kind of guys like Freddie Roach, when they make a mistake, everybody looks the other way. Well, it wasn't Freddie's fault. It wasn't Teddy's fault. Whoever that guy might be, they'll look the other way. But if it's somebody else, then the whole boxing community comes down on that guy. But if it's Freddie Roach or Teddy Atlas or somebody, they look the other way. Bullshit. Freddie Roach is not going to be able to help Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is going to have to help Tyson Fury. And his IQ in the corner, he's got Jim in the corner, he's got Joe in the corner, now he's got Freddie Roach in the corner. That's telling me something about the mentality of Tyson Fury. Freddie Roach doesn't have a track record for training nobody but Manny Pacquiao. Where's his credibility at with any other fighters? Come on, man, get out of here. I don't believe that nonsense. That Freddie Roach combined with Tyson's boxing skills. Watch what happens when he gets hit on the chin with Amtrak. Watch what happens.
Fury has better coordination, so he's faster with his jerky movements. That's what, again, Nigerian Nightmare is saying.
Yeah, he's got jerky movement, but what about the jerky movements of Deontay Wilder? You got 1 × 1 = what? You talking about Fury's got the herky-jerky move. What about Wilder's herky-jerky moves? He's the only one that's in there. Fury has those herky-jerky moves because he's allowed to. The minute that somebody gets in his face and cuts that ring off and make him fight, we'll see how he does that in 12 rounds.
Wilder is only fast with the right hand. Again, this Nigerian Nightmare says.
Wilder's jab has come along. Wilder's jab has come along. Wilder's left hand has ever improved. And what does Tyson do? He goes southpaw, he goes orthodox, he goes southpaw, he goes orthodox. And for as big as he is, he can't crack an egg with a sledgehammer. So I'm not impressed with Tyson Fury. He's a good boxer, like I said, if you allow him to box. But if somebody gets in his face, I like to see how he functions there.
You mentioned something. I remember when we first started talking, you talked about guys over 6 foot, a certain height. And you said when they get to a certain height, their durability is questionable. Do you still hold by that belief?
Yeah, because it's a rare individual in a 12-round fight. But today's guys, they allow guys like Fury to jump around the ring, to run around the ring from tit for tat, tit for back, and they allow him to live in it. Nobody has ever jumped on Fury. You can't think of one guy that has really jumped on him and effectively cut the ring off. Using an effective jab, using an effective right hand to cut the ring off and make him burn energy. The key to beating a guy like Fury is to cut the ring down and make him fight, make him make mistakes. But if you leave him alone, he'll outpoint anybody.
Do you think Fury can box his way to a 12-round victory?
I mean,
without getting nailed with a right hand?
No, I don't think so. It's possible, but I don't think so. I think that somewhere in that fight, he's going to get caught not one time, but a few times with that right hand. And if he gets caught right, then you'll see something.
Do you believe that Wilder comes in straight lines and can't cut off a ring?
I don't know what they've been doing in the camp. You know, I think Wilder hasn't really had to do that. You know, because of the long-range bomb. He always neutralizes people with the long-range bombs. So he hasn't had to go through a whole lot of science in the ring of cutting the ring off and using other logic to get to his opponent. He's always numbed him with that right hand.
How about if Fury boxed the whole fight Southpaw, used the Southpaw stance to try and take away the right hand? I would have thought that would have invited the right hand more, or not?
I think that he's going to try to use the Southpaw stance to confuse the other opponent. That's usually why opponents do that, goes lefty to right. Because I know Deontay's people have to be looking at that perspective that, you know, he might do that. So I think that they're prepared for that. I don't think that's going to rattle his cage, none.
Philip Carl Roberts says, Wilder has a quick jab, but it won't trouble Fury. Really, it lacks power and it's lazy. McDermott cut off the ring against Fury in the first fight. Lesson learned, but Fury's definitely not in shape.
I don't think his jab is lazy. I think it's a good jab, you know? I think it'll be even more effective with a tall guy. You know? And speaking of his jab, what about Tyson Fury's jab is not all of that. Tyson Fury's jab is now, I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. I've watched Tyson Fury, you know, from the very beginning. And I'm just not impressed with him. I'm not impressed with Tyson Fury. To be a big guy, I'm not impressed with him. Box, but yeah, I'm not impressed with him.
D'Lo says, Wilder moves with fluidity, while Fury has telegraphed irky-jerky movements. Wilder can close the range like no other. Then he goes on and says, Wilder has next-level reflexes on offense and defense. What do you think about that?
I think Wilder is a grab bag. You know, this guy comes up with uppercuts from his ankle, you know, comes with overhand right from his shoulder blade, from the back of his shoulder blade. You know, he's just an unpredictable guy. And when he unleashes something, if it finds its mark, it's going to hurt him, left hand or right hand.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the last press conference, the final press conference, where it got a bit out of control. Tyson saying that Wilder can't knock him out. But what concerns me is that Fury's been down to lesser punches than Wilder. What are your thoughts?
I think that Wilder can knock out any heavyweight in the world that he lands on. If he lands the right hand clean, he can knock out any heavyweight in the world. And I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of it. You know, he has an uncanny power in that right hand. To be a skinny guy like he is, he has some uncanny power. like I said, might be within the top 7 heavyweights of all time. That power that he has in that right hand.
Okay.
It's numbing power.
Ton says Fury has been out of the loop for too long and hasn't preserved himself well during the layoff. I can't even count his last 2 fights as being meaningful in terms of preparation for this matchup. Your thoughts, Uncle Bashir?
I feel the same way he does. I think that Tyson Fury jumped the gun and taking this fight.
Go ahead.
He jumped the gun and taking this fight, and I think that it's going to cost him. I think it's going to go on down the stretch. I expect it to be a ebb and flow fight for the first 4 or 5 rounds until Deontay starts landing anything on him, And people will see that Deontay's jab is going to be on display in this fight. Everybody will see how good his jab is. I think his jab has improved during the time over the last 5 years. I think his jab has improved immensely. And I think that's going to come in to play in this fight.
Okay. Cool. CCR 2971 says, has Wilder fought anyone bigger and taller than him? And does that matter, do you think, Uncle Bashir?
Nonsense. Much to do about nothing. Did you see Michael Hunter with Houston off the other night?
I did.
You see that? So all of that big guy, little guy, and the big guy this and the big guy that. So I was just in a big debate about Usyk versus Wilder and Joshua. But I kept trying to point out to the person I was talking to, that doesn't mean jack if you know how to box. Michael Hunter took Ustinov apart. Ustinov is much bigger than Michael Hunter. Hunter took him apart with clean precision shots, broke him down and knocked him out. And the big guy before that. So that big guy, the little guy, that doesn't mean nothing when you know how to box.
Absolutely.
Muhammad Ali was an unpredictable guy with his style. Unpredictable, pulling back from punches. Muhammad Ali, Roy Jones did everything wrong, but somehow it always turned out right. According to the Marcus, what they say, Marcus Queensberry's rules. Roy Jones, Muhammad Ali did everything wrong, but it always turned out right. Because they had speed, they had ability. That's what allowed them to get away with it. When that speed and ability left them, then they were just ordinary fighters.
Check this out, Uncle. Bernard says, Fury has a better jab than Gerald Washington and Duhaupas. Uncle James Ali Bashir even admitted that those lower level guys gave Wilder issues a few months back.
Yeah, they did. And Fury has a good jab, but that jab is not consistent. It's not a consistent jab. And I expect that Fury is going to use the jab. Wilder in this camp expects him to use that jab. That jab, he's got to be very careful with it. Fury doesn't commit to his jab. He just flicks it out just to get out there and get out the way. He has to take away Wilder's right hand to even give himself a chance. He has to take away the right hand. If he can take the right hand and put it in multiples, he has a good chance of winning the fight. But somehow, that is going to be very difficult to avoid that.
What do you make of the low left hand of Fury and the legs on Tyson Fury since he's made his comeback?
Well, we have to wait and see. I just don't think that he's been back long enough. I don't think he's been in the gym long enough. I don't think that he's shaken off the ring rust of those absent years. I mean, what was it, 2.5 years?
Yep.
2.5 years. And, what he went through with his mental illness, with the drugs and things of that nature, and then come back and have two fights like he did. I don't think that's going to prepare him for this. I don't think so. I think that Wilder's going to heat up on him. When he does, he's going to stop him. Wilder's been out there. He hasn't taken a break, and he's ready to fight.
Another fallacy that people say is that Klitschko hit Fury on the chin and Fury didn't go anywhere. So Klitschko hits harder than Wilder, right? That's what some of the fallacies are. But I've said they're different types of punches. One is fully committed and one is looking to get out the back door when he hits you. Your thoughts, Uncle?
I think that both guys punch hard. Both guys punch hard, especially with the right hand. Wilder throws a right hand with complete dead weight. Vladimir's right hand is more educated, it's more, controlled. But Wilder throws a right hand like, I don't care what I hit, I just want to hit something. And it's complete dead weight. It's a different kind of power.
Now, people say that Klitschko's got a better technique than Wilder when it comes to throwing the right hand.
Sure, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that Wilder is 41-0 with 40 knockouts. People say, well, Wilder hasn't fought anybody. That's easy for us to say it because we was on the outside of the ring.
Pastor Harpas has also got a very good chin. Will Fury be able to soak up that sort of punishment?
We'll have to see. I told you that layoff is going to come back to haunt him in this fight. It's going to come back to haunt him.
Nigerian Nightmare says Vlad set up the right hand better than any heavyweight in history. I'll disagree with him on that.
Who?
Vladimir Klitschko sets up a right hand better than any heavyweight in history. I disagree with him with that. I thought Lennox Lewis set up his right hands better.
It might have been better than both of them.
I agree. What about George Foreman? I thought he set up his right hand pretty nicely as well.
These guys, they punch hard, and they had good setups on the punches. But that means nothing. That means nothing in this kind of fight. Fury is hard pressed to knock anybody out. I mean, who has he really knocked out? He fought Stevie Cunningham, and he did some roughhouse tactics on Stevie Cunningham to end the fight. Roughhouse tactics, but who has he hit and really got out of it? Freddie Roach is saying that Fury gonna knock, but who has he hit and not? Knocked out like that. I can't think of nobody.
I can't think of anybody either.
I can't think of nobody that he done it with.
And the last two fights we saw Fury, I mean, the fight he had against Safa Safiri and then the fight he had against Pianetta. This is a guy, Pianetta was a guy that Kevin Johnson knocked out in a few rounds or stopped Pianetta from what I remember.
Right.
So
and he couldn't do nothing.
He couldn't knock out the 5'9", 5'10" Safa Safiri, who was a cruiserweight.
Yes. I mean, people see, especially the fans, they see what they want to see, but without paying attention to reality. The reality is that Deontay Wilder is 41-0 with 40 KOs. That tells you something,
Uncle,
about the lethal power that he's possessing.
One of the subjects matters is people say, well, Wilder's going to have to punch up now because he's punching at Fury, which means he's going to take the power away. What are your thoughts on that? Even though he fought a guy called Calvin Price and knocked him out, and he was taller than Wilder.
Big deal. I mean, Tyson Fury is not that much taller than Deontay Wilder. Big deal. I mean, it's much to do about nothing to me. You know, those kind of issues, or those kind of facts, I don't pay attention to them because they mean nothing. They mean nothing. Fury's going to try to do skate around the ring. He's going to try to pull Wilder in, where he can counterpunch and try to nail Wilder coming in. But Wilder's team has got to be familiar with that tactic, though.
Well, the team, like you got Mark Breland and his trainer JDS is quite good.
Yeah, well, JD's has been with Deontay from the very beginning, and Mark has been there virtually from the very beginning. So I think together that they'll put their math together and be prepared for anything that Tyson's going to do.
Let's talk a little bit about the comment or the questions Radio Raheem versus Deontay Wilder. Can you talk to me about that and your thoughts on it?
This guy, what's his name? Radio Raheem?
Radio Raheem, yes.
He acts like to me, he's a clown. All right? In my opinion, he's a clown. You know, with his proper talking self, you know? He's coming up asking stupid ass questions, trying to get under people's skin and stuff. But to me, the guy's a clown, you know? I don't take no stock in him. Where'd he come from? Where this guy came from? You know, he comes in and asks this guy's irritating questions. And Deontay did the right thing. Deontay put him in place. He put him in place, you know, he put him in his place. And he corrected him. So he comes in with his proper talking, his conceited proper talking, trying to be the voice of boxing. And he's a Johnny-come-lately as far as I'm concerned. So I don't put no stock in him. Radio Raheem. Give me a break.
What do you make of because people are now mentioning the racial undertones in this fight. What are your thoughts on that as well?
It's nothing new in boxing. Nothing new in boxing. You know, you had it in the Jerry Cooney, Larry Holmes fight. And, you know, you had it in a couple of fights over the years, you know, but it's nothing. Racial overtones. It means nothing when that bell rings. Over that other conversation about a person's race out the window. And my thinking is for the listening audience, my thinking about this is that God made every one of us, every language on this earth, every person on this earth. We had nothing to do with who we are and where we come from. It was all God's will. So we don't have to, we're to the point that we have. We can't dial up God from the womb and say, God, I want to be tall, dark, and handsome. I want to be white, blonde, and blue eyes. We don't have no decision in that. So we have to abide by what we have in the world that we live in. We all might as well get along because ain't nobody going nowhere. That's my thinking about it. I don't pay attention to racism. I encounter racism a lot in the world. I encounter racism a lot in life. There's no changing it. So some people need racism to feel bigger and make other people feel smaller.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I've encountered it a lot in this world and in boxing. And I think that I'll continue to encounter it. And the thing that really bothers me is that the racists think that other people can't see that they're racist. But I see, well, I'm born in 1951, so I can see a racist a mile away. I can see a racist coming down the street like they're on fire. I can see it. They think that I can't. So, no big thing. It's just the world we live in, small people, racist people. So,
do you believe Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the world, Uncle?
What?
Do you believe Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the world?
Hell no. Hell no.
Why?
I think Joshua's better. I think Deontay Wilder is better.
You were in the corner of were you in the corner the night Vladimir fought? You weren't in the corner, but you were part of the team when Vladimir fought Fury, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think will be the differences between Fury? Fury says the Tyson Fury that fought Vladimir Klitschko's dead, and that this new Tyson Fury is training better than the old Tyson Fury. What are your thoughts about that?
He might be training better. It doesn't mean that. I think that the Vladimir Klitschko that fought Tyson Fury was a displaced, non-focused Vladimir Klitschko. I just think that he just wasn't there. Throughout the training camp and in the fight itself, who am I to say something? I wasn't the trainer. I wasn't the trainer. I think that the game plan that they had in the corner that night was so far removed. I was like sitting there watching the title slip away in slow motion. And I warned Vladimir. I warned him. After the Jennings fight, I warned Vladimir Klitschko. I said, lad, you almost blew the title tonight because Jennings came too close. Jennings came too close to winning the decision that night, in my opinion. Vladimir got away with the win with Jennings, but I thought that it was a subpar performance against Jennings. I thought that he should have blew Jennings out of there inside of 5 rounds. He should have blew Jennings out of there. That's what my opinion was. First thing it is, when you're training a fighter, you got to know what you got. You got to understand what you have in your hands. I understand that I've got Vladimir Klitschko. I understand that if I send him out there and cut that ring off and drop some bombs on Jennings, Jennings is gone. Jennings is gone. He's out of there. That's my thinking. But if you got a guy out there telling you just keep boxing, you box better than him, the fight's going to go the distance.
Okay.
That's what the trainer was telling Vladimir Klitschko, you're a better boxer than him. So right away, you put the heavyweight champion in boxing mode with a little guy, a little nervous guy, because Jennings was very, very nervous those first 5 rounds. He didn't start loosening up until the 6th or 7th round. So if you got a guy telling you, the trainer telling you, well, you just box him, you're a better boxer than him, and you're going to put the mind of the champion in boxing. I would have told him, listen, cut the ring off, work behind the jab to get close, and then drop the right. Drop it. Just basic boxing. I wouldn't have had him trying to be fancy, anything. I would have just told him, keep working the jab, just get close enough to drop the right hand.
What are your thoughts on a potential Klitschko comeback and possibly next year facing Anthony Joshua in a rematch?
I can see that fight happening down the road. But I think that Vladimir Klitschko wants to break records. He don't want to come back just to come back. I think he wants to break a record. I think he wants to hang around and come back later on. If Joshua is still in the driver's seat, he'll probably fight him 2 years from now. People think they don't know whether he can fight him 2 or 3 years from now. Sure he can. He's always in shape.
Would you really want to see Klitschko v Joshua 2 next year?
Would I want to see him do what?
Would you really want to see Klitschko versus Joshua 2 next year?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Uncle. I can hear you.
Good.
Okay.
I think Vladimir's in good enough shape that he can compete with Joshua or anybody else in the world right now. I talk with him all. I talk to Vladimir Klitschko often, and he's still boxing. He just finished boxing 13, 14 rounds with Oleksiy Usyk. So I think that he's in good enough shape to compete right now. I don't know what he's going to be like a year, 2 years down the road. I don't know then. But he still stays in the gym. He boxes, so I think he can still compete at the top of his game.
Okay. Where does Usyk fit in all this, Uncle? I know you think that Usyk beats them all. What would you advise Usyk to do in his next move in the moving into the heavyweight division?
I think that I would have him. My understanding is that he's going to fight Denis Lebedev out of Russia. I understand that's the next move for him.
Okay.
But I would have him go forward now.
Why is he fighting? Why is he fighting Lebedev? And what does he gain fighting Lebedev?
I don't know. It must be money, because that's the only thing I can think of.
Surely
he doesn't need it.
He doesn't need Lebedev. He should be fighting a heavyweight fight now.
I'd move right to the heavyweights right now. And I would start taking on the heavyweights at this point right now. Strategically. not just fighting heavyweight, but strategic moves in the heavyweight division. That's what I would be doing.
Well, can you explain a little further what you mean by strategic?
Well, comparable fights, I wouldn't fight a Jarrell Miller or Dillian White or Derek Chisora now, even though I think they could. I wouldn't take them right now. I would take more moderate heavyweights, a Gerald Washington or something like that there. I would take those kind of guys right now.
Okay. If, for example, let me ask you this. If a fighter has been known to go down against moderate punches, is it a fair conclusion that when he fights a devastating punch, he's not going to get up?
Styles makes fights. It could be a big punch, but they might have the style where the guy can get away. He slip slides, stay to the side, stay out of trouble. But one guy might be able to put a guy down, and another guy may not be able to put a guy down. So it's like I said, it boils down to styles. Styles makes fights. Then guys get put down by lesser punches, and when they fight the harder punches, they don't get put down. They don't even get in trouble.
If you were studying, if you were studying tape of Tyson Fury for Deontay Wilder, which fights would you be looking at to study Tyson Fury?
Study tapes for because of his style.
Yeah. So what would you be looking to see?
Very awkward guy, around the ring, boxes like a fifth way he boxes like a heavyweight. So there's all.
I know you're breaking up, Uncle.
Hard to watch videotapes, try to get us stopped. You hear me?
Yeah, you were breaking up a bit. Go ahead.
Okay. It's difficult to find a style like Tyson Fury to box with. Very, very difficult to find a style. So you have to just watch tapes on Tyson Fury himself and try to come up with a style to thwart what he does in the ring.
Okay.
But as far as trying to watch another videos of people who box like him now, it's very difficult to find something.
In terms of, because Wilder is a unique puncher, how do you replicate that in a gym? In terms, you could do all your work and fancy work and sparring with heavyweights. Because this guy is light, but he's also a devastating puncher, how do you replicate yourself for the impact of that sort of punching power?
I don't think you can. I don't think you replicate yourself for that. You just got to keep your fingers crossed that I can take this and still be standing up when I finish. Fingers crossed and say, Lord, help me take this here thing that he get ready to hit me with. So Tyson's going to give him a lot of fancy footwork, turn the southpaw, turn the conventional, you know, to throw the power off. You know, and I'm thinking whatever floats your boat, that's what you need to do, because the hard right hand is going to come.
Could this fight finish early, Uncle?
Huh?
Could this fight finish early?
Yes. Yes, it could finish early. People said that Deontay up. For me, a tall guy is more in danger than a short guy with Deontay Wilder. You know, the tall guy, because it's less
Them to hit.
less distance that the punch has to travel. Deontay throws overhand rights. Tyson Fury is right up there. And he pulls back into punches too. I think that if Deontay throws overhand right, he can find Tyson. Maybe not right away. But he'll find him.
Final question before you go, Uncle. All the weight loss that Tyson's had and he's got himself back, how does that affect a fighter's durability?
Immensely. He's lost a lot of weight since he's been back. I don't think that he's fought his way into shape. I think he did other calisthenics and stuff to take the weight off. But in a fight such as this here, people have got to understand when Deontay Wilder lands something, those punches saps the opponent of energy. When you're dazed, when you're shook up, when you're hit hard like that, you might use 2 or 3 rounds worth of energy just trying to collect yourself. So I think that he's going to have some problems. You know, I mean, he took off the weight. He got down, but boxing is not a body beautiful contest. Boxing is about durability and comfort. You know what I'm saying? You got to have some comfort in there when you're boxing in that ring. You're supposed to lose a certain amount of weight during the fight. But Tyson is, you know, coming in body beautiful and stuff, and I think that when he gets hit, those are going to be energy draining punches.
Do you think when it comes down to it, what sort of fighter do you think Wilder and Fury are? Uncle? We've lost Uncle Bashir. Yeah, we lost Uncle. Okay. Yep. Uncle, you there?
Yeah. I think that when he gets hit, Fury, when he gets hit, I think that those punches are going to drain him even further. It's going to drain him of energy. Those punches may sap him of rounds. You know, when you're using energy to collect yourself from getting dazed in a fight, it's just like, you know, you're going rounds. That's energy that's being lost. I see Tyson jabbing, and counterpunching, trying to catch Deontay punching. But I think Deontay's going to show a left hand in this fight too.
I saw him working on triple left hooks, by the way. Uncle? He's gone again. I think it might be his connection. Yeah, it might be Uncle's connection. All right. Uncle, your connection's going.
Yeah, the connection is going down to 2.
Yeah. Okay. We'll bring it to an end. Just finally, the left hooks Deontay Wilder's been using in training. I saw,
or anything like
I
that.
saw him tripling up on the left hook.
If I was training Vladimir Klitschko to fight Tyson Fury, and I'd do the same thing with Deontay Wilder, I would have had him drilling him on the left hook to the body. The left hook to the body, because nobody goes to Tyson Fury's body. And there's a lot of body there to punch, you know? There's a lot of body there to punch. So I would have been training him to punch the body, to wear that body out, to punch it so hard that by the time the 8th or 9th round came, that he wouldn't have no ability to move anymore. You got to take away those legs from him, because that's what he does. He skates around the ring. So I would have had him doing body punching early, you know, with an occasional right hand. I wouldn't go right hand crazy, because that's what they're expecting. But I would have had him more concentrated on the body, and then every now and then I would slide one of those right hands in there when he was least expecting it. But I'm picking Deontay Wilder to stop Tyson Fury inside of 9 rounds. You know, he may have to go for the he might get shook up. Tyson is a big guy, you know. So Deontay might have to go through a little something, you know. In the early rounds, he might have to go through a little something. But I'll still see him bouncing back and stopping this fight inside of 9 rounds.
People, there's some people in here believe that Tyson will turn southpaw and beat Wilder.
If he turns southpaw, you get knocked out earlier than that.
Why?
Because he'd be more susceptible to that right hand.
That's what I was saying.
Tyson Fury is a big guy. What's he going to do? He's going to turn. I mean, they hip to all the tricks. You know, what is he going to do? Turn southpaw, something magical going to happen? He's going to turn southpaw and find himself looking up at the lights. Because this guy is going to keep throwing that right hand all night until he finds pay dirt. When he finds pay dirt, he's going to find it. Trust me.
Okay. Uncle Bashir, as always, thank you so much for talking to BWTM Sports. We appreciate you.
Okay. Get back with me right after the fight.
Sounds great. Talk to you then. Bye. So there you have it, Uncle James Ali Bashir. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, share the video, and don't forget also, it was BWTM or Baylor TV that broke the news originally as to the sparring story between Wilder and Klitschko. I'll drop the link in the description box. Take care. You've been watching BWTM Sports. Thanks again.